everybody to the Asylum. It's our first video blog, and tonight we're going to talk about authority and what God has given us, the God-given authority that resides in each one of us. The potential that we have is amazing. So basically I'm going to break down a story for you guys that you've probably heard a million times. The story is about David and Goliath. Now I know you're like, yeah, whatever, but here it is. I want to focus on one little verse. And I'm going to show this. I showed the verse at the beginning. It's like, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? Basically, David walks up on the scene, and he's like, who does this guy think he is? Who does he think he is? Who does he think he's going up against? These are the men of God. Back in the day, the only people that were circumcised were Israelites. That was it. So every day, if you guys don't know what circumcision is, ask your dad. If he can't tell you, ask your mom. Okay, that was a joke. Anyway, every day, every time one of those dudes went to go take care of his business, he had a reminder of the covenant that he had with God. So anyway, so David is up on this hillside, little punk kid, and he is like, who does this uncircumcised Philistine think he is? So David steps up, and he takes Goliath's head off because of one thing. It's not because David was anybody. It's not because David was great with a slingshot. It was about David understood authority. He understood covenant. He understood that God was not going to harm him. God was not going to put him in a situation where he was going to get hurt. Now, I understand that there are situations in life that suck sometimes, that are hard, and they're difficult, and there's a lot of times you don't understand what's going on, but I do know this, that God has given us the peace of mind to know that, you know what, God, I don't care what's going on. You still love me. You still care. And you still want what's best for me. I know that there are situations out there where life is probably very hellish, but I want you to understand that God cares. And Jesus died for you. And he shed his blood on the cross for you, so you can live with him forever. And not only that, not only do you get to go to heaven, but you get to rule and reign while you're here on earth. That you have authority on earth, just like David did. David stepped out against this giant, this huge dude that in the physical world it looked impossible, but he stepped up and he exercised what God had taught him about covenant, and what he taught him about that relationship that he had. So David understood who God was, and not only that, he understood who he was in God. And I think that's where a lot of times where we don't know, is we haven't been taught who we are. We haven't been taught who we are and what God has made us to be. So we're going to walk through this thing a little bit at a time. This is my first little ditty, so we will see how it happens. Hopefully this gets a huge feedback and you guys have some questions. I'm going to add some more later on this week, but as for now, this is all you get from P. Fro and the Asylum. This is the seller, and I'll leave some information here at the end. You can get a hold of me. Alright guys, take it easy. I'm out. Bye-bye.